That's why in Ardaas, when we read, Chad Khadiyan te chade, who? Bhai Subeg Singh Ji and Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji, they were then mounted on the rotating wheels and they were tied and the wheels were then rotated, which means their bodies were getting crushed. Now look at the trick that the Mughals were using. That if we cannot break the panth from outside, we are going to try to break the panth from within, through nindya, through gossip, through backbiting and lies. Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji says that my father has never taught me to give up my faith just because I want to save my life. Sikhi is much more valuable to me than my life. Now through this Sakhi, there's two things that we can learn from. Whatever job that we are doing in this world, when it comes to our faith, we will never compromise it just because of the job that we are doing. Dharam, Sikhi will always come first. Number two is the importance of having Sikhya, of Gurmat in our family. If our parents, if the Buzurg, if we set a good example of becoming a good Sikh, our children, if we impart the Gyan of Sikhi to them, when our children face challenges in this world, which they will, they know how to become strong and how to maintain their Sikhi and not give in to the pressure of the world. WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh Sangat Ji. The Sakhi that I'm going to share with you about is about two Gursikhs whose name the whole Pantha mentions every day in our Ardaas. These two Gursikhs that I'm speaking about is Bhai Subeg Singh Ji and Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji, father and son. This was a time when Dal Panth was created in 1733 under the tutelage of Nawab Kapur Singh Ji. So Bhai Subeg Singh Ji was working for the governor of Lahore, who at that time was Zakaria Khan. This is the same Zakaria Khan who caused the Shaheedi of Shaheed Bhai Taru Singh Ji. Now, Bhai Subeg Singh Ji was working as the chief of police under Zakaria Khan's Nawabi. And when Zakaria Khan realized that he cannot destroy the Sikh Panth, in fact, the Sikh Panth has become so strong, now Zakaria Khan wanted to give Nawabi to the Pantha. So basically come to an understanding with the Khalsa Panth. And to send that Nawabi, Zakaria Khan asked Subeg Singh, Bhai Subeg Singh, to go to the Khalsa Panth with this Nawabi and give it to them. And when he when he gave the Nawabi the dress and so on, the gift, nobody wanted to take it because they said, Guru Gobind Singh Ji has blessed us with Parchahi, with kingship. Why should we just become a mere governor, a Nawab? At that point, then the Pantha decided to give this Nawabi to Kapur Singh, who at that time was doing seva of the horses. Kapur Singh then became Nawab Kapur Singh. After he was given the Nawabi, he wore the dress, the plume and so on. He went back to doing seva of the horses. Anyway, Subeg Singh was congratulated by Zakaria Khan for being able to do this task very well. Now, fast forward, this was the time of Shaheedi of Bhai Taru Singh Ji. Bhai Taru Singh Ji, for helping the Khalsa Panth and challenging the authority of the Mughals and Zakaria Khan, he was sentenced to becoming a Shaheed. His khopri, his scalp, was removed together with his hair. Now, Zakaria Khan, he could not urinate, and Zakaria Khan asked Subeg Singh to go to Bhai Taru Singh to ask for forgiveness and find a way to solve his problem. When Bhai Subeg Singh Ji went to Bhai Taru Singh Ji said, well, this is not my problem. You have to go to the Khalsa Panth to ask for forgiveness. Bhai Subeg Singh Ji then goes to the Khalsa Panth to Nawab Kapur Singh, who then said, well, Bhai Taru Singh Ji's bachan will come through, that Zakaria Khan will die before me, only then I will leave this world. So what you need to do now is go back to Bhai Taru Singh Ji, and with his chappala, you have to take Bhai Taru Singh Ji's chappal slippers and hit the head of Zakaria Khan. As long as he keeps on doing that, he'll be able to urinate. Bhai Subeg Singh Ji goes back with this message, takes the chappals of Bhai Taru Singh Ji and goes to Zakaria Khan and sends this message. Zakaria Khan then did that. He hit his own head with the slippers of Bhai Taru Singh Ji until he was able to urinate, but he did it so much and so hard that he ended up dying. Only after that, Bhai Taru Singh Ji became a Shaheed. Now fast forward, when Zakaria Khan died, his son Yahya Khan became the governor of Lahore. And people then instigated Yahya Khan and said, look, this guy here, your chief of police, Subeg Singh, was the reason why your father died. He gives information to the Khalsas, he helped the Khalsas, he made your father die and embarrassed your father. You need to punish him. Now, Bhai Subeg Singh Ji had a son whose name was Bhai Shahbaaz Singh, and Bhai Shahbaaz Singh was learning Persian from one of the mullah. Now this Qazi, this mullah, this teacher who used to teach Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Persian was very much intrigued by his nature that he wanted Shahbaaz Singh to marry his daughter, provided that he becomes a Muslim. So now when mullah had this idea and the instigator Yahya Khan to punish Bhai Subeg Singh Ji, now both father and son was brought to the court and they were then sentenced to be tortured if they do not embrace Islam. So now this is the idea here, Sangat Ji, the concept that look at that. Bhai Subeg Singh Ji was working for the Mughals, was working for Zakaria Khan, was working for the Nawab of Lahore, even though he was a Khalsa. But when the time came that it was either his job or his faith, Bhai Subeg Singh Ji chose his faith. Because anything can happen in this world, Sangat Ji, but what is permanent for us is our Sikhi, not the job. People are not going to bother about us if we leave the job or if we leave certain people in this world, or even when we leave this world. People might cry for a few days, but then they move on. But our relationship with our Guru, as long as we don't let go of our Guru's hand, Guru Sahib will never let go of us. Kargehlini par brahm, bahorna vichhadya ho. So Bhai Subeg Singh Ji, Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji said, we are not going to let go of our Sikhi and embrace Islam. You can do whatever you want. They were then separated, and the next day, Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji was then called in. Now look at the trick that the Mughals were using. That if we cannot break the panth from outside, we are going to try to break the panth from within. How? Through nindya, through gossip, through backbiting and lies. So that's why in Ardaas, when we read, Chadkhadyan te chade, tan arya naal chiraye, Chadkhadyan te chade, who? Bhai Subeg Singh Ji and Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji. They were then mounted on the rotating wheels and they were tied, and the wheels were then rotated, which means their bodies were getting crushed. When their bodies were getting crushed, the Mughals, the people thought that their faith will be crushed as well, their confidence will be crushed, and then they will then listen to us. And I realized, Sangat Ji, one of the main reasons why many times we had Khalsa Raj, but then we lost it is because of these issues where people were destroying us from within. As long as we are strong as a panth together, no one can destroy us. So Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji was brought in first, and the Qazi told Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji that, hey, your father has been killed. Now you have no choice. You have no one here with you. You should just embrace Islam, get to marry my daughter, and you will live a good life. Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji says, ki marna ta sarya nahi hai. Everyone is bound to die. And just because my father has left this world, I'm not going to be afraid. Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji says that my father has never taught me to give up my faith just because I want to save my life. Sikhi is much more valuable to me than my life. Then when this trick didn't work, Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji was sent back to the jail, and Bhai Subeg Singh Ji, the father, was called in. What they told Bhai Subeg Singh Ji was that your son has agreed to embrace Islam. Now you have no face to show because your son has agreed, you too should embrace Islam. And Bhai Subeg Singh Ji was so confident, and he said that I know my son so well that my son will never give up Sikhi. Look at the confidence the father had in his son. Because of the Sikhya, the example that our parents, that our elderly set in the family, the values of Sikhi, of Gurmat that we give to our children, that when people try to break them by saying, hey, don't keep your hair, don't have Singh or Kaur in your name, don't wear a kada, don't keep your kakar, eat whatever you want, they are confident enough to say, no, I'm not going to do it. So Bhai Subeg Singh Ji said, I'm very confident my son will never give up Sikhi. I know your tricks very well and this is not going to work. So when they realized ki koi chara hai nahi, there's no other way, so then the Nawab, the Qazi, then decided to just put them on the rotating wheel and crush them till death. So this was how Bhai Subeg Singh Ji, The father, Bhai Shahbaaz Singh Ji, the son, attained Shaheedi. And Sangat Ji, there's so much that we can learn from this, Sangat Ji. In this age of Kaljuk, I'm being very honest, our children go through so much of challenges every day in school, through bullying, through verbal abuse, physical abuse. Our children face so many challenges from people all around. Nowadays, children are being trained to even attack our Sikh children by making them read the Kalam or cutting their case or forcing them to embrace another religion. If we, within the family, we can make our children strong, tell them about the values of Sikhi, share the Sakhya of Shaheed Singhs and Singhdiyan, Shaheed Pujangi with them, that how they maintain their Sikhi and never let go of their faith. When they go out into the world, into school, into work life, when people try to challenge them or even question them, number one, they will have the knowledge of Sikhi. They will know how to answer people back with proof, with Gyan from Gurbani and with Itihas to back them up. And number two, they will never waver or become doubtful of, who am I? What is my identity? And they will never change their faith then. They will never give up Sikhi. So Sangat Ji, apne bachyan nu in your home, read the Itihas of our Sikh Panth, of our Khalsa Surme, and make our children confident and brave like our Khalsas as well. So, Pullan Chukan di Khima, WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh.